Fastamai, and a very good evening to you. It's Judith here with Today at the Guild.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by SpectrumWindows.im.
Well, it's great to be back in the studio again with lots of winning performances to share with you. On the menu tonight, we're going to hear in depth from all the contenders for this year's Cleveland Medal, because all the places have been allocated. The solo voice classes finished this afternoon. It was intense competition with some very, very fine singing, and you can hear all the winning performances. We started to talk about this last night on the programme, and we did hear a little bit of music from Olivia Black, who secured her place by winning her class in the soprano voice solo. And we're going to hear more from Olivia and from the other 5 fine singers who will be competing again on Friday night. The winner of the special bass solo yesterday afternoon was Paul Costain, a very, very popular local singer, isn't he? So generous with his time, as indeed are all our singers. But I don't think the word no is in Paul's vocabulary. I really don't. And the rules are the same for all the special classes. There are a choice of 2 set pieces. The singer can pick whichever one they choose and then add a piece of their own choice. It's good to make a contrast. And I think when you listen to the pieces, you'll realise that they all did that. Paul was singing against Terence Qualtrough, Glyn Morris and Graham Crowe. All of them have secured Cleveland medals on previous occasions. But Paul won through. There were only a couple of marks separating them all. And we're going to hear a little bit later, we'll hear one of his own choice piece, but we're going to listen now to his choice of set pieces. It's by Gerald Finzi. It's one piece from a song cycle that Finzi wrote based on the poems of Thomas Hardy. And this, which I think suits Paul's voice perfectly, is Rollicum Roarum, and his accompanist is Patricia Cullen.
Strive to heal a breach, and apostles practice what they preach. Then Boney Hill come passing down, and marches men on London town. Rollicum roarum, tallalorum, rollicum roarum, tallale, rollicum roarum, tallalorum, rollicum roarum, tallale. When justice was hold equal scales, and are only found in jails, then Boney Hill come passing down, and marches men on London town. Rollicum roarum, tallalorum, rollicum roarum, tallale, rollicum roarum, tallalorum, rollicum roarum, tallale. When rich men find their wealth at last, and fill their with the poor man's purse, then Boney Hill come passing down, and marches men on London town. Rollicum roarum, tallalorum, rollicum roarum, tallale, rollicum roarum, tallalorum, rollicum roarum, tallale. When husbands find their wealth empty, and lay with the poor man's purse, then Boney Hill come passing down, and marches men on London town. Rollicum roarum, tallale, rollicum roarum, tallalorum, rollicum roarum, tallale.
A fine big bass voice there of Paul Costain, winner of the special bass solo class. He accompanied there by Patricia Cullen, and he will be singing again on Friday night. He'll also be singing again later on this programme, because that was just one of his test pieces, and that was the piece by Finzi, a set piece. We'll hear his own choice a little bit later in the programme. We're going to hear next from Judith Barker, who joins us from Liverpool. Now, all I know about this lady is that she is singing very well indeed this week, and indeed, when I give you some results in a few moments, you'll hear that she won a class in St Thomas's Church as well, so just on Tuesday night. So she's in very fine voice. Again, it's a set piece and an own choice piece. Let's listen now as Judith Barker, winner of the special contralto solo class, accompanied by Madeleine Kelly, sings by Grieg, Autumn Storms. This is Judith Barker. Judith Barker and Autumn Stories, and she too will be singing again on Friday night. Now, I've got some beautiful instrumental music for you. We're coming back to the Cleveland Medal, but I'm just, as I always try to do, just give you a little flavour of the other classes that have been happening around the Villa Marina during the day. And we also have some winning performances from a day or two to catch up on, but we will be featuring a lot on really spotlighting our Cleveland Medal contenders. And then, having listened to them all, you can do your own little bit of adjudicating, because it's just the performance on the night. It isn't any previous performance that's taken into consideration. So you can listen to all these performances tonight and you can do your own choice. Who would you give the Cleveland Medal to? You can make your own note, just scribble it on a bit of paper, and then we'll see on Friday night if you pick the winner. And then if you do, you might get a call from the committee to do a bit of adjudicating next year. Right. Now, let me tell you about this young lady. This is Arabella Iron, and she is going to play the harp, and she was a class winner. My goodness me, she was a class winner. When I tell you that she was awarded 90 marks, and you will, if you've been listening to the coverage over the last few days, you will know that none of the adjudicators are giving 90 marks lightly. So enjoy as Arabella Iron plays for you. It's an own choice class, and this is for grades 4 to 5. I was mentioning the other night that for a lot of the instrumental classes now, there are age-related ones, some age-related ones, but most of them are related to the grades that the performer is working on or has achieved, because that takes away the whole age thing. You know, you could be working on your grade 2 piano and you could be at retirement age, and that's absolutely fine. It's about getting people of a similar ability competing rather than people of a similar age. And it's proved very popular, and it has seen a lovely increase in the people taking part in all the instrumental classes. Enjoy. This is Arabella Iron, and she has chosen 2 pieces by Rachel Hare. Rachel Hare, who has so much to do with harp playing here on the island, in tutoring, and is a fine composer of music herself. The 2 pieces are Charmed and Kilmartin Sky. Enjoy. Wasn't that terrific? 90 marks and a class win for Arabella Iron, and playing her harp there, two pieces by Rachel Hare. Now, in a moment, we're going to hear the performance by Debbie Gooding that has secured her a place in the Cleveland Medal final on Friday night. But ahead of that, let's catch up on some results, because there's quite a lot of winning performances that I haven't told you about. So we will go back to the string classes, of which that fine performance from Arabella was one of them. But we'll go back to those and I'll give you some results for those. Now, these were classes held in the Royal Hall this morning. Goodness me, this is the thing where in Guild World, which is a different zone altogether, it is so difficult to keep track of which day, because we're either reminiscing about something lovely that happened or looking forward to something that's coming. And if it wasn't for my wonderful Tim Price, who does all our recordings and keeps me on the straight and narrow, I don't know where I would be. And I'm actually quite anxious to know what is going on in the Royal Hall round about now, because Tim is not only a fine engineer, he is also a very skilled composer. And 2 years ago, he won the prize for original composition in the Guild, and with a beautiful song about which there's another little story that I'll tell you a bit later. But tonight he's competing again in the same class, and so I'm more than a little interested in the result of that. I hoped that it might have been judged before I left the villa, but no, it's a busy night, some wonderful classes going on in the Royal Hall, and the timing was all wrong. So I shall just have to be patient and wait to find out. But I can tell you what I do know. This morning, string classes. Now, again, this is just what I was saying. These are according to grades rather than age. And these are people working on grade 1 to 3 for violin and viola. And Sophie Heinzen played her violin, won the class with 86 marks. And then in the next class, which was for cello and double bass, we had Lily Burt, who was a winner in that class, and she chose one of my very favourite tunes, the Pink Panther theme by Henry Mancini. Then we went on to grades 1 to 3 for plucked strings, and this was a great response to this one from schools all around the island. But it was Ruby Grant, another harp player, who won the class with 87 marks. And I think a tribute should be paid here to a couple of people. I mean, we are always singing the praises of Katie Lawrence, who hates to be mentioned, but she is truly inspirational in getting children and adults to just get a little bit more involved. In fact, one gentleman said to me as he was going into the folk song class, he said, I would not be singing in a solo class if it wasn't for Katie Lawrence. He's in her choir. You know, the way she's done the Ballacottia mums and the Ballacottia dads, and now she's got the Ballacottia community choir where she's got grandparents in it and teachers from the school. And he was also a member of that, and he said, from that I've gone on to sing solo. So it's wonderful to encourage people that way, isn't it? And somebody else who's done a tremendous amount for young instrumentalists is Michael Bolton. And he was there, he was helping bringing the harps on stage and off stage, and such a quiet and unassuming person, and giving tremendous support. And he seems to, when young people take the harp up, they seem to be playing it within a matter of a couple of months. You know, they're good enough to play little pieces in a concert. And just such a wonderful gift. So just thank you to Katie, to Mike, and to all the other people out there, too numerous to mention, who are real inspirations. The teachers, the drama group leaders, and of course, mums, dads, and everybody else who ferries the children around to be where they need to be. It's all a big team effort, but you come into the villa and you see how it pays off. You really do. So there we are, Ruby Grant playing her harp, 87 marks, and she was the winner of the plucked strings class for grades 1 to 3. Grades 4 to 5 for violin and viola, it was Xander Shirtliff playing his violin, took a class win there with 86 marks. Then in the grades 4 to 5 for cello and double bass, Archibald Elliott, who was a cellist, got the class win there with 86 marks. String classes for grade 6 and above, it was a first place for Polly Glynn, who is a violinist, and hopefully we'll just hear that a little. We'll hear Polly play for us just a little bit later in the programme. And then string class for grade 6 and above, it was Grace Templar who had a win there, and she was playing cello. So that's brought us up to date with the string classes. They're up to, that was how the morning was looking in the Royal Hall. And then, of course, the afternoon was taken up with the qualifying classes for the Cleveland Medal. We'll come back to those in just a moment. But yesterday's classes, it was singing yesterday that we had as we've heard, Judith Barker, and we've heard part of Paul Costain's winning performance. And we still have to hear some more music from Olivia Black, who also qualified yesterday. But we're going to hear now from somebody who qualified this afternoon in great voice. A lovely singer. Debbie Gooding won the mezzo-soprano solo class. Helen Prescott, I don't know whether you were listening to Women Today. I was talking to Helen Prescott just for a few moments before she went into the Royal Hall, and she's got a dreadful cold and sore throat. But she said, I'm going to sing. She said, I know I'm not going to do any good at all, but she said, I'm just going to sing for the absolute joy of it and not for the possibility of trying to win, which I thought was a lovely attitude. But it was by no means an easy victory for Debbie, because she was up against some very, very fine voices. But it was Debbie who took first place with 87 marks, and here are her two pieces. And Debbie chose Silent Noon by Vaughan Williams. That was out of her choice of two set pieces. That was the one that she chose, and her own choice is Funeral Blues by Benjamin Britten. This is Debbie Gooding, accompanied by Graham Kirkland.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by SpectrumWindows.im.
Tis me. clocks cut off the telephone, prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone, silence the pianos, and with muffled drum bring out the coffin. Let the mourners come. Let aeroplanes circle, moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message, he is dead. Tie crape bands round the white necks of the public doves. Let the traffic policeman wear black cotton gloves. He was my north, my south, my east and west, my working week and my Sunday rest, my noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. I thought that love would last forever. I was wrong. Those stars are not wanted now. Put out everyone. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. Pull away the oceans and sweep up the woods. For nothing can ever come to any good.
Some fine singing there from Debbie Gooding, and she too will be seeking a Cleveland medal when she sings again in the Royal Hall on Friday night. Now, looking at our results again, and we've got just a few instrumental classes still to catch up on, and these were from yesterday in the Royal Hall. The Buchan Awesome Orchestra were class winners yesterday with 86 marks, and so also was Sherneveg from the Bunscoil Rumsair, and they were class winners with 87 marks in the instrumental class for small ensemble. Ballacottia Folk Group, I guess who's involved there? That's right, Katie Lawrence. Ballacottia Folk Group had a class win with 86 marks. And Ramsey Grammar School String Ensemble, they too won their class for the instrumental ensemble class. Now, as I say, just because I'm not playing these at this moment, please don't think that they're being overlooked. They are classes that we will come back to just as we build up on the variety of the offerings that I put into the programme. Music making for orchestras, school years 7 to 13, QE2 High School Wind Band, 87 marks for their class winner. A very nice varied programme. 15 minutes worth of music was the time limit, and they packed no less than 5 different pieces of music into that. Well done to you. The Shirtlifts, playing Pachelbel's Canon, won a class for instrumental small ensembles with 86 marks. And so that was that collection of instrumental classes. And let me tell you about the classes that were in the Royal Hall last night. And that produced another winner who's gained a place in the competition for the Sheffield Place. A very talented young lady who spends a lot of time on the stage and loves singing and acting very much indeed. Well done to Lois Mooney. And she won the class with 88 marks for the girls solo for years 11 to 13. And she too will compete for the Sheffield Plate on Friday night. The vocal ensemble for up to year 13 was won by the group from the Platform Theatre School, and they sang True Colours, and they won the class with 87 marks. Now, you might be hearing that again, but I can't tell you too much at this stage. But I'll be talking to somebody tomorrow who can. It's all to do with the festival's finest on Saturday night. But I can't tell you too much about that. But I hope to be talking to the organisers tomorrow, and I'll be able to bring you some more news about that tomorrow evening. Well done to Jessica Christian, who had 89 marks for George Harrison's Here Comes the Sun. And that was how she won the popular song. You had to choose from a period of 1930 to the present. This is limited to school years 9 to 13, so that's 14 to 18, isn't it? And Jessica Christian won the class there, and she's from Broadway Theatre Company. Well done, Jessica. The popular song for the period, you could choose anything between 1921 to 1979. This is an adult class. And the wonderful Harry Galbraith won this, 88 marks with the class win, and he chose a Flanders and Swan song all about the sloth. It just goes to show we can bring in lots of new music, but sometimes it's the good old favourites that win through. And I mean Flanders and Swan. I'm not referring at all to the singer, who I think has got the secret of perpetual youth. Harry, thank you very much indeed for all the pleasure that your singing gives us. That'll be something that we'll be coming back to a little later in the programme. But back now to qualifiers for the Cleveland Medal. And there's a little bit of a human interest story here, because the next singer is, to the best of my knowledge, qualifying for the Cleveland Medal for the first time. I could be wrong there, but I can tell you what I'm not wrong about is that Matthew Quinn is going to be competing for the Cleveland Medal on Friday night, and his daughter Daisy will, on the same night, be competing for the Sheffield Plate. Now, we've had family members, we've had fathers and daughters and mothers and sons competing within the Cleveland Medal. I can distinctly remember Anne Fletcher and Simon Fletcher competing in the same year for the Cleveland Medal. And I'm quite sure that Michael Corkill and his daughter competed together on one occasion. But I'm not sure that we've had a father and a daughter in the Sheffield Plate and the Cleveland Medal on the same night. Please correct me if you know better. If I'm wrong, please tell me. Let's listen now to some wonderful singing by Matthew Quinn. And this was how he won his place this afternoon. He won through again against a lot of, I'm not going to say fierce opposition, but against a lot of fine voices. It really was, I think when Mandy Griffin was talking about it, she said that it was going to be the battle of the baritones. They were all accompanied very ably by Jill Collins. It was Matthew Quinn who won through with 88 marks, and we're going to listen now to his own choice, and this is a piece from The Marriage of Figaro. This is Matthew Quinn, accompanied by Jill Collins.
Ora incomincio a capire il mistero e vede schietto tutto il vostro progetto. E Londra è vero, voi ministro, io carriero, e la Susanna secreta ambasciatrice danzerà Figaro il dice. Se vuol ballare signor Contino, se vuol ballare signor Contino, il chitarrino le suonerò, il chitarrino le suonerò, sì, le suonerò, sì, le suonerò. Se vuol venire nella mia scuola la capriola le insegnerò. Se vuol venire nella mia scuola la capriola le insegnerò, sì, le insegnerò, sì, le insegnerò. Saprò, 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 ma piano, piano, piano piano, 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 piano. E gli anni arcano ti simulando scoprir potrò. Là ti scavello, là ti taprando, ti qua veggendo, ti la scassando, tutte le macchine rovescerò, rovescerò. Là ti scavello, là ti taprando, ti qua veggendo, ti la scassando, tutte le macchine rovescerò, tutte le macchine rovescerò, tutte le macchine rovescerò, rovescerò, rovescerò. Se vuol ballare, signor Contino, se vuol ballare, signor Contino, il chitarrino le suonerò, il chitarrino le suonerò, sì, le suonerò, sì, le suonerò.
My goodness, that was good, wasn't it? That was Matthew Quinn, accompanied by Jill Collins, and Se vuol ballare from The Marriage of Figaro by Mozart. Now, wait till you hear this. This is Michael Corkill, who won the tenor solo class up against stiff competition from Nicholas Roberts and Ernie Thorne. It was Michael who won through, and again there was a test piece that for him to choose from, and that was a piece by Gluck, which we'll come to if hopefully tonight, but if not, it'll be coming up very, very soon. But listen now to his own choice. This is his own choice. He put himself to this test quite voluntarily. He chose Ah, Mes Amis by Donizetti, and this is from an opera that is called The Daughter of the Regiment. And listen to what the professionals say about this. This is the ultimate test for tenors. It's an action-packed, high-flying gauntlet, 9 high Cs and an optional 10th. To sing this convincingly, the tenor must make every high C ring true with a robust, chesty sound and clear intonation. And there are various other things that I won't trouble you with that make the piece even more challenging. But Michael Corkill, being the absolute star that he is, he chose to sing this. Listen to him. He's through to the Cleveland Medal final. His accompanist is Gareth Moore.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by SpectrumWindows.im.
Mes amis, che jour d'affaire, je vais marcher sur votre peau. À mes amis, que jour d'affaire, je vais marcher sur votre peau. L'amour qui m'attend l'affaire, désormais mes rangs. À quel bonheur, oui, mes amis, je vais marcher sur votre peau, je vais marcher sur votre peau. Oui, c'est pour qui je respire, à mes derniers sourires, et cette douce boire de bonheur trouble ma raison et mon cœur. Mes amis, que jour d'affaire, je vais marcher sur votre peau. À mes amis, que jour d'affaire, je vais marcher sur votre peau. Je vais marcher sur votre peau, je vais marcher. À mes amis, je vais marcher sur votre peau. J'ai sa flamme.
Isn't that lovely when the applause starts before the music has even finished? And that was Michael Corkill and Ah Mes Amis. And he was accompanied by Gareth Moore, and he has qualified for the Cleveland Medal Test on Friday night. And again, it's no secret that Michael has had a real battle with some very, very serious health problems. But the one thing he has only ever wanted to do was to get back to his singing. And I think it's true to say, isn't it, that he has done that. So well done, Michael. But aren't these fine voices? Isn't it going to be a great competition on Friday night? I certainly wouldn't like to make any kind of prediction at all. Now, we heard a little bit of Olivia Black singing last night. We're going to hear some more now, and then we'll have heard from all of the 6 contenders, and then we'll just see if we've got any time to play a little bit more. But we've other programmes, so there'll be lots of opportunity for you to hear more from these very gifted singers. Now, again, the same rules, an own choice and a set piece, and Olivia's choice for the shorter piece that we heard last night was her choice of test piece. It was a piece by Roger Quilter, My Life's Delight. And now Olivia is going to sing her own choice, Do Not Go, My Love, by Hageman. And Olivia's accompanist is Frank Woolley. And this is how she earned her place in the Cleveland Medal final.
Could I but entangle your feet with my heart and hold them fast to my breast? Do not go, my love, without asking my
Winner of the special soprano solo class, Olivia Black, accompanied by Frank Woolley. Right, let's catch up on a few more results now, and I've got a poem for you next that I know you are going to love. Now, character studies. This was in the Promenade Suite last night, and this is for school years 7 and 8. And congratulations to Gabrielle Germischus from the Broadway Theatre Company, who won the class with 88 marks. Well done also to the Broadway Theatre Company Young Choralers. They won the choral speaking up to year 13 with 90 marks, and an extract from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. So congratulations to them. In the choral speaking class for adults, it was a win for Manx Voices, and they had 88 marks. Strictly Speaking with Bohemian Rhapsody was just close behind with 86 marks. And then in the cinema yesterday, Reading from the Bible was produced a first place for Roviana Setsu. The spoken word for school years 7 and 8 produced a first place for Jason Miranda, also from Broadway Theatre Company. Well done, Jason, had 87 marks. And in the Shakespeare for up to school years 9, it was a first place for William Shooter. In the character studies for school years 12 and 13, Joseph Long, again with 90 marks, from the Broadway Theatre Company, took a first place, and he portrayed Mickey from Willie Russell's Blood Brothers. And well done to Fina Wilson, who won her class character study for years 9 to 11, and she chose to be Mabel from An Ideal Husband by Oscar Wilde. Well done to Fina Wilson. And this morning, in the first class in the Promenade Suite, was the spoken word for school year 2. And Talia Giuliani took a first place with 87 marks and this poem.
The Snowman, Anonymous. Once there was a snowman, stood outside the door. Thought he'd like to come inside and run around the floor. Thought he'd like to warm himself by the firelight red. Thought he'd like to climb up on that big white bed. So he called the north wind. Help me now, I pray. I'm completely frozen, standing here all day. So the north wind came along and blew him in the door. And now there's nothing left of him but a puddle on the floor.
Isn't that lovely? That was Talia Giuliani, and a winning performance from the spoken word for year 2. That class was followed by Reading from the Bible, years 3 to 6, and first place went to Ori Wilson with 86 marks. And then the next class, spoken word for school year 6, Amelia Corris took first place with 88 marks. Amelia's from St John's Primary School. But we're going to hop across to St Thomas's Church now for our next piece of music, which I think is, gosh, goodness me, I can't believe we've only got about 7 minutes left. I don't know where the hour has gone, flown by. And in St Thomas's Church last night, this beautiful venue with beautiful stained glass and murals and a lovely acoustic, there were 3 classes there. We started the evening with the foreign language art song. This is an adult age group, and a beautiful singing from Morag Withy to win the class with 87 marks, and that's one I'll definitely play for you tomorrow night. Then that class was followed by the vocal solo by a British composer, and this was where my lovely Tim Price, the song that the music that he composed 2 years ago for the original composition, where he won the class, Morag Withy chose to sing that song, but it didn't win the class, but she chose to sing Tim's song in the British composer class, and we were all very thrilled to see his name listed there as a British composer. But it was Karen Elliott who won the class with a resounding 90 marks, and she chose a piece by Benjamin Britten, Let the Florid Music Praise. And this is the singing of Karen Elliott, accompanied by Mary Frankwick.
Let its conquest
A class-winning performance there from Karen Elliott, and we've almost out of time. We're going to play out with a little bit of music from class-winning violinist Polly Glynn, but Andy Wint is in the wings with your late show, and I will be back tomorrow night with another hour from the Guild. Ahead of that, I'll be reporting into Mandate at just about 10 minutes to 8 and popping into Women Today around about 20 past 2. If you can't get down and join us at the Villa Marina, then do please keep listening to Manx Radio and we will bring you the Manx Music Festival. This is Judith wishing you a very good night. Ivi.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by SpectrumWindows.im.